Okay, just give it some time. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. I must
Sure.
always check first. Okay, parents, if you are still around, give me a minute to make sure that the live is really live in Facebook. Okay. Yay, it's live. Hi parents, this is Coach John here from Learning Out of the Box, and today we have the privilege of having a great parent, a very hands-on mom. Hello, Lup Wai.
Hi, everyone.
All right, so let me just introduce Lup Wai, and she's a mommy of two, an educator as well as a parents whisperer. And today she's going to share with us how parental involvement affects a child's educational achievement. All right, okay, Lup Wai, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for the honor for inviting me here.
Yes, and I think now both our homes are very peaceful without the kids.
Yes,
And we're trying to
totally.
get things done before they come back home, like sooner, like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm really interested to know your backstory and tell us more about why or how did you end up doing what you are doing today, sharing lots of good educational content to your community, and also calling yourself a parent whisperer.
Right. So I started with after having my own kids, and I started spending a lot of time with them. I have the mindset of like being very connected with my children. And from there, when I have my first kid, I started teaching him on my own and started homeschooling, which is very a very kind of hands-on activity and learning at home with my children. So, and I journal down whatever I learn with my child because I know that it will be useful for my second child as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I started journaling and keeping record of what I do with my kids. So at next time, it's also like a diary for my kids as well, what they have done. And with that, it becomes a natural thing where whatever we do, wherever we go, we learn something. So it's out of the classroom learning where you don't feel like you're learning, but indirectly you're picking up something. I mean, the kids are picking up something and put it into their brain. At the same time, it also helps with our parent and child bonding. So what I do with my children is a lot of hands-on activities, which is because they are more of, it's more fun to learn with hands-on. And from there, they love to read, they love to pick up things along the way and learn from there as well. I also teach where I teach older kids as well. So from as young as 6 months old to like 17, 18 years old. So while teaching the older kids, because they're more expressive, so I get to learn more about what the kids are thinking, how they want to connect with their parents. So some do express about how their connection are between them and their parents. So I realized that it also affects how I parent my children as well. So that's where I also, in a way, tweak the way I parent my children so that we can feel better in bonding rather than just a parent and a child.
When you say teach, because I heard the wide age range, like 6 months to 17 years old.
And then after that, subsequently, you go to kindergarten, where you slowly get them involved to learn about ABC 1, 2, 3, and then primary school. And secondary school is more of social skills and development. And for older kids, like teenagers, they are more of like software learning.
Well, and I can hear that you're someone who knows a lot of things, like with also lots of content. And you mentioned about journaling about your parenting journey, and you mentioned about homeschooling as well. So what makes you want to decide to homeschool? Because I think that to homeschool kids is a very big commitment, not just in educating your child, but also I would say that it's really reshuffling your priorities and even putting your child ahead of you in your daily life.
Correct. or for those parents who have think about like, oh, homeschooling and things like that, especially during the COVID period, it's like we're homeschooling our kids, we're stuck at home with the kids. It can be a struggle. But I'm thankful that I had done that before. So it's easy for me during that COVID period when we are stuck at home with the children. Why I wanted to homeschool is because I wanted to know and understand my kids' learning abilities, their styles. And at the same time, I also can nurture the way how they learn to let them pick up easier so that they don't have to be molded into what other people are doing. It's not exactly like people learn this, you have to learn this, but I need to find out what are they good at. How do they learn better so I can cater to their needs better so that when they go to school, it's easier for them. And if they struggle, I understand why they do struggle. So the preschool period, I homeschool, and it was very fun because younger kids, you have a lot of activities, hands-on activities you can play. Yeah, but when it goes to primary school, you find it a struggle where you have fun in the learning because a lot of worksheets, a lot of writing. So at the same time, I also have to transit from play to kind of worksheet homework. And they prefer, I did ask them, do they want to continue to homeschool?
So what did they say?
They say, no, I want to play my friends. They like homeschooling, but they also miss their friends. So that's where we decide, okay, you can go to school and you get to play with your friends, you learn together with your friends. And after school, we will do after schooling. So we will learn on the go, like what teacher teach today, we just revise at home. But I will implement a lot of freestyle kind of learning where how are you going to apply your real life into what you're learning in school. Yep. And I always give them choices like, what do you want to learn today? If you don't want to learn about this topic, why do you not want to do it? Is it because it's tough to understand? Is it because you don't feel confident to answer the questions? So at the same time, I also understand why my child struggle with certain topics or certain subjects.
I want to find out more because I'm someone who's also very hands-on and I teach my own kids. So I like the parts that you mentioned about the after-school home education. So could you share with us one specific example? Like, so how do you how do you implement after-school home education on top of what is being learned in school? As well as I also want to hear from you, like how do you address dislikes of kids in a healthy manner? Because I know that you are someone who is very I can hear from you that you are practicing intentional parenting.
Yep.
Yeah. So a lot of words that you use, I think, are done at a conscious level when you actually select your words carefully, such that you are really helping your kid to process, and I think you're also facilitating a discussion between you and your child. So I pick up quite a lot of things from what you have shared.
Thank you. Yeah. For parents who have, if you have questions about it, you can you can ask as well. Then we can discuss, we can share.
Yeah, quite a lot of things.
Yeah, we can share on that. I'm happy to share with all these tips because I struggle with my first kid as well. Yeah, he was bullied when he was in a kindergarten.
Oh dear.
So I had a hard time trying to build his confidence back. So it gets me even more involved with how they learn and what they learn. Yeah. And it as a parent, it pains your heart to see your child being bullied.
Yeah.
But we also have to teach intentionally, like how do we deal with that? It's very common for us to feel very angry and very frustrated. You want to go to that person and then you just return whatever they did to you.
Yeah.
But I also have to be mindful, correct? Revenge. I also have to be mindful. Is that the way that I want my child to grow up? To be, yeah. And the first thing is the confidence. So it takes a lot to build that confidence level up. So when you say like, how do I find out what they dislike? How how do I build that confidence level? It also depends on the child. So we all know that there are 4 types of learning styles. So based on their learning style, I will work on, for example, if he's more of a reader, my elder one is more of a reader. I'll get a lot of comic books, like young scientists, where you learn and you enjoy reading at the same time. So there are topics where they talk about experiments. So we go and really go out and find the ingredients or whatever is required and do the experiment. So experiment can fail. So we fail a lot of times. So from there, he started to build confidence level in a way that he's not being interrupted by anyone else. But I let him do it on his own to build up his own confidence level on his own. So you fail the experiment. You feel very sad. Then I will say like, okay, what do you need to do in order to make the experiment better? How do you make this to be successful? So you need to think about that. So instead of like, you see lah, cannot lah, you see, I told you cannot already, typical of us to do that. And it's like, oh, waste of money, buy so many things, then it doesn't work. And then chuck one side. But instead of that, it's like, okay, how do you do it better? How do you make this experiment successful? So it makes him think at the same time. Okay, instead of thinking about my own confidence or my own self-esteem, how am I going to solve this? So I try to distract him from there and try to make him think about how to solve that problem. So that distracted him for a while, and then he tried to figure out. And when he gets successful, that's when he gets the confidence bit by bit, get that confidence back. And slowly he started to love doing experiments, and we have to really explore together with them. Yeah. Which is why the parental involvement is important at this part where you get involved with the child.
Just now you mentioned that there are four types of learning. Could you share with us what are the 4 types? Because I think I caught the part on reading.
Yeah, one is reading. One is kinesthetic, where they need to move around. So that's when you see some kids cannot sit still when they do the homework. Yeah. One is visual. Reading is where you more of just read. Visual is when they see movement on the screen. Like some people use iPad or Zoom. Now that we have Zoom, better in learning. And some is using auditory, where they listen. So like, for example, we use the podcast to listen.
Yep.
So these are the 4 types.
Great. Yeah, I also want to find out more about how you parent your child daily. So I think this will be a good opportunity to share with the parents some photos of your kids. Can I share those that you posted up for public viewing in your Facebook account?
Yep, sure.
Yeah, because I think it's awesome work that you are doing, and I would say that many parents like myself, we are trying, but again, the business that we have from work and in our life, sometimes they just pull us back.
Correct. Yes, I do feel imbalanced at times. It's like if I'm with the kids, I feel like my work is not done. If I'm with doing my work, I feel like I neglected my kids. So I struggle for quite a while with that. And nowadays I used to block my time, because now that they are in school in the morning, like what we are doing now, we try to do our work as much as possible, quickly finish it up. And then in the afternoon, I will spend the time with the kids to do their revision. If they have any homework, they will do it on their own. And during the time, if they don't need my help, they need to do their homework, I will still take a bit of that time to do my work. And when after that, both of us finish our work, we will set time to do something together. And there's always time for revision, and there's always time to play.
And tell us more about what your boy has done here. Luke,
over here, he loved Japanese curry, so he cooked that. He prepared. At times, he will go into the kitchen and do some baking or cooking. Yeah, I will just stand at the side and help, and then we just chit chat along the way. So what do you like? Do you like it like spicier or less spicier? Create some conversation around there. So what kind of pattern do you want to do today? Do you want to just have rice and curry, that's all? Then he said, I want to make a pattern out of the rice. Because I used to make, now I still do, making bento with designs on them. So it got into him where he want to design his food so that it feels more appetizing to eat.
And did he cook this by himself?
Most of them.
He's much better than me. Yeah, please tell him that this uncle only knows how to cook two things. One is egg, one is rice. So he's much better than me.
Thank you. I'll let him know.
Yeah, and I think it's really impressive how parents like you are getting your own kids to be involved in cooking as well, because I think cooking also trains patience, as well as seeing the mini project in until the end. And there's this parents that who I have interviewed I think 2 weeks ago. The child is 5 years old. Sorry, primary 5. Yeah, so during the circuit breaker, which lasted 2 months, the parents actually got her onto a mission to cook once a day for 2 months for the family.
Wow,
The
that's
family
nice.
must eat whatever she has cooked. Yeah, so of course, there are hits and misses lah. But I think it's
Correct.
very encouraging for the child.
Yeah, personally, I feel like because cooking is a life skill that trains a kid how to, prepare all those things, like what you mentioned, patience as well. And also, because in the past when I don't know how to cook at this age, so there was once my parents were not available, and I was hungry. I wanted to eat something, so the cooking was a disaster. Almost burned the whole kitchen down.
Oh dear.
So now I was like, I make sure my kids also learn how to cook. So the next time, if I am busy or not around, at least he knows how to, settle his own stomach.
Nice. Okay, let's move on to the next picture. Tell us about this one. Science. I can see that it's like electric circuits.
Correct. Yes, we have a lot of we buy a lot of materials to play at home. So I'll just set it aside in one corner where they can just pick it up and explore on their own. So there were times then where he feel like he want to tinker and create something out of it. Or when he's encountered some questions he doesn't know how to answer in a science paper, like electrical circuit, how it affect one another, battery, the light bulb, and all those things, then he will try to use all these materials to explore on his own. So it's more of like critical thinking and how to find his own answer. So at certain times, when he's available, he's free, and he will just create his own mini project. Yeah, there were a few times he also burned the whole circuit down.
And how do you respond when he almost burns the whole circuit?
Oh, he was freaking out. I was like laughing at the side. He was like crying, "Mommy, there's smoke, there's smoke." I was like, okay, what happened? Like, okay, I burned the circuit. I said, okay, what did you do that burned the circuit? What did you learn about science from the subtopic that will cause certain things to burn? Then he did think about it. He looked at it. He said, oh, I put too many batteries. I put too many things around it and all those things. Then he knows that, okay, next time I have to be aware and not do the same thing again.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's also a good lesson for us parents. Like sometimes when we want to charge our mobile phones, we tend to plug too many plugs into the extension cord.
Yep.
All right, because parents who are still with us right now, the reason why I'm sharing this is because I think many of us could pick up some of the things that work for Lup Wai, and I know that your child also need to study science in school. Yeah, so there's a lot of times that we can actually get our children to play with things that related to science, which can help them to increase their interest in learning science. So Lup Wai, can you tell us like what's happening here? Because I think it will really help us to understand what he's doing.
Yeah, he's more like trying to figure out like how our body system works through to these 2 cups of water and a straw. So
Oh.
in a way, you can use the straw to pump the water from one cup to the other.
Mm-hmm.
So without using any like complicated equipments or tools in order to get it pumped over. So at the same time, they are also learning like how does our lung and our heart works. Like doing the pumping of the blood or doing the pumping of the oxygen and things like that. Yeah. So they have actual visual and also a hands-on experience on how our body works as well.
So for this experiment, how I mean, if we want to duplicate it, so what exactly is
All you need is 2 cups of water, 1 cup of water with the other one empty, slightly empty. Then you just need to put the straw. You need to cut it into shorter one, all right, or one side short, one side long is okay, as long as you can bend. So you take the bended part, and then you try to pump the water from the one with the water to the other one without the water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So just through the straw. Yeah. So you really have to stop the air from flowing, and then you just let go, and then the water will start flowing through it.
And I love the intensity in his eyes. Yeah, because you can see that from the past few pictures, right? Look at the eyes, so focused.
Yeah.
Yeah, so probably later when he comes back from home, you can ask him to spot the difference, spot the similarity, and ask him what did he see in himself.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I'll try that.
Yeah. All right, tell us about this one. Wow, I mean, it's like so much things, and I think one of the common things that I think some parents may say that, wow, so messy. Later, I still have to clean up.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Yep.
that's what's going on here.
Here we are doing the terrarium. So is they love planting. But the thing is, our place doesn't have the condition to plant. We don't have the kind of enough sunlight to come in, and we don't have the space as well. So what we tried to do is setting up this like decorating their own mini orchard. All right, in the pot. So yeah, and I bought a lot of like colored sands, and we went together to the gardening place where we select what they like, the plants, finding out what type of soil is suitable for the plant, and how to feed the plant and all those things. So at the same time, they learn about planting from those people who sell those plants. And coming back is where they learn how to really take care of it, how to decorate it in a way such that they, according to what their own preference. And that's why they are looking very intense here, because they're very focused on trying to make sure their little pot or their little garden is pretty enough to look at, and their plant is able to survive in the condition. It is messy, yes, I agree. I was like, so what am I going to do next? After they are done, it's like, okay, I'll just get them involved in helping to clean up. So they know that after doing one task, they have to do the next one, which is cleaning up, and they know. So the expectation is already there. So they will also try to be careful at the same time. And if I do see them like they are so restrictive with their movement, I will say that it's okay if you mess up. Yeah, as long as you clean up after that. So that they are free to decorate and do all the things they need. And after that, they work together and clean up the whole place.
As you're sharing your story, I'm also very curious because I know that Singapore kids, they have lots of schoolwork. Yeah, but anyway, when they come back from school, the duration for resting, for eating their meals, for doing schoolwork is actually very short. How do you plan in such a way that your child also gets a healthy dose of non-academic activities in a week? Because I think that even for myself, it's a big struggle for me. Like sometimes and I bought this box of the Tamiya cars that boys used to play in back in the 1990s, where they race on the tracks.
Yep.
Yeah, so the box has been sitting in the living room for 1 month, and I still haven't find the. I mean, I have other things for my kids, and yet I still want her to be trying that out as well to assemble it. Yeah. So for yourself, how do you balance and how do you plan? Because I think it's an amazing job that you're doing there, having so many regular non-academic activities for your kids.
Okay, I will think that because I prefer to do all these activities where they can rest their brain
Mm-hmm.
and have some therapy on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So I always have time blocked out for that. So if I have, for example, maybe after dinner 7 to 8 o'clock. So before that, when they come back from school, they finish their lunch, they do their homework,
Mm-hmm.
they try to do whatever work they can as much as possible to finish it up.
Mm-hmm.
And then after dinner, if they are done with their work, we will do some activities. Yes, we'll squeeze some time to do that. Or if they prefer to have a relaxing time after lunch, sometimes they do request, Mom, can I do something not school related? Then I will just move around my timetable to fit that in. Okay, now maybe we do gardening, we do experiment. Then we will work on that, set an hour to do that. And then once they feel like, okay, they feel like they have let go of all the stress and everything, then after that, they will feel more of refreshed with doing their homework. They don't feel so tired. Yep. But it's usually when we set the activities that we want to do, or they list out whatever activities they want to do. So we had it listed out, and then whenever we have blocked out certain timing, right? We will do 1 hour of something together. So today we will try to set 1 hour to do that. Then they just pick up what they want to do and put it in that 1 hour. So it becomes a habit to set a certain timing to do things that is out of the school academic stuff.
Yeah, and the reason why I ask is because I think there are many parents out there who I've talked to. Sometimes they really love their children to rest. Yeah, but a lot of times the amount of schoolwork really catches up, and
Yep.
and it's really a fight, and even like trying to steal time from yourself to ask yourself like, should this time be used for resting or should this time be used for schoolwork? Then not forgetting that there's also time for, like Singapore kids they have tuition, they have CCAs, they have enrichments, and 101 things going on in their life.
Yep, that's true. What my kids doesn't have is they don't go for tuition. Yeah, even if there is tuition, it's usually online. So we don't have to spend time traveling around. So we just get ready for the hour to do the tuition, study, and then after that they rest. They have a few minutes rest. They can rest doing nothing, or they can rest doing something. So all the materials are always there available for them to pick up anytime. So they can choose what they want to do. If they want to do it together, we can also do that. So I always have time to set aside for them as well. So when they don't need my help, I quickly get my things done. Yeah, when they are busy with their own stuff, I quickly busy myself with my own stuff as well. So that I have time to do it together with them when they need it. At the same time, I don't feel so frustrating. Yeah.
Sounds like your child is your first priority when it comes to doing things that they enjoy.
Yes, correct. Because learning is for life. So I do not want to kill that kind of their learning passion, the passion of learning at this age. Yeah. Learning is for life, and even after school they still learn. So I want to keep that going.
Awesome. Okay, I'm interested to also do this terrarium, right? I mean, sorry, how you pronounce this one?
Terrariums.
Terrarium.
I think some people pronounce it differently. Yeah.
Okay, terrarium. Do you have a step-by-step guides in your site?
I have it on my blog. Yep. And I also have a video YouTube of them doing it.
Okay, can you help me to navigate through, or where do I find it?
Or you can do a search.
Okay, now is to test my spelling. Oops, see? Did I spell correctly?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Wow. Ah, great. So this is like a DIY.
Correct. So the materials, what you need is there. So we have pictures as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then how to make the terrarium step by step.
And your two models.
Correct. They were busy doing and I was busy taking pictures.
Well, you really spent a lot of effort to create all these videos.
Yep.
Wow.
So for them to recall like what they had done and also to help them in case the next time they want to do it on their own, they have something to refer back to.
Mm.
Yeah, either video or reading the text.
Yes. In fact, I have picked up another two more photos, and I hope that you can share more. And the reason is always because I want parents to really get more content out of this sharing. Yeah, a lot of times I think even for myself, I will run out of activities for them. Yeah, so end up it's always going out or leaving the house. Yeah, but I can see that there's a lot of things that you are doing, which is also I mean, it's not very expensive. Besides the materials that you need to invest to buy all this to set up the terrarium.
Terrarium.
Terrarium. Now do you see that why I teach maths and not English? Okay, this glass jar of plants. Okay, yeah. So
Good
so so I,
description.
yeah, so I guess it's something very interesting even for myself. Yes. Okay, let's look at the last two pictures.
Yep.
Ta-da! Tell us more about this one.
This one, my girl like to look at YouTube for ideas on what to do.
Ah, wow, creative girl.
Yes, she like to look on the YouTube, like finding things that she likes to do, and then she will start following and drawing things out. So it's more of like this is when I was I think I have a call or a tuition with some students. So I was busy and I couldn't really attend to them at that time. So that's where they find their own activities to do. So my boy is still doing his homework at the same time snacking. So he find it it's more relaxing to eat and do work at the same time. Yeah. Otherwise, he find it very stressful to just focus on the work. So I allow him to do that. And then my girl, she likes to draw, but not the kind of drawing where you need to attend the classes and then you are restricted to what you're supposed to draw during the lesson. So he prefer on the fly. I feel like I want to draw whale. I want to draw ice cream. And she will just search on the internet and find cute pictures to draw. And then from there she will use her drawings to make as a bookmark or a coaster or whatever. Yes. And we have a laminator at home. So she can just cut it out and laminate. So it's also tests her cutting skills and things like that.
And I think this is a great way to involve our kids. And nowadays, many parents have to work from home. Yeah, so sometimes instead of being worried what your kids can do while you are working, sometimes such simple things like sharing the same table and they are doing their own things like drawing or homework while you're teaching or having the Zoom meeting also helps. So I hope this one can be one of the ideas for parents who have no idea where to place their kids at home while you are working from home.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
And also teaching them like independent learning. Yeah, where they will be more independent on doing what they like to do or they want to do while you're busy with your work. So we do have some hand signs. If they need help, they may like raise up their hands. Then I will like, if I'm busy, I will like You have to wait.
Like
Yeah.
policeman, wait.
Correct. Wait. If I allow you to talk to me or whatever, right? Sometimes I need to talk. Then I'll give him the good thumbs up sign. Or they want to do something, I give a good thumbs up sign. That means okay, you can go ahead. So you have a lot of like hand signs at the same time.
Awesome. Okay, one last picture. This one, yeah. And I really love to see kids when they are able to bake something and they're so proud of their outcome. Yeah, tell us
Correct.
more about what's happening here.
This one was they were craving for certain cakes,
And what's that
and
about?
this one is banana cake.
Wow, looks yummy.
Yeah, banana cake, and they like banana. They like to eat banana. They like to eat cake.
Mm-hmm.
So usually when they're outside, we buy some banana cake. They don't really like it. Either too oily or doesn't taste the banana.
Oh.
So this one they make it on their own. So they add loads of banana in it, and they just create their own version of banana cake. At the same time, because my boy loves whipped cream or fresh cream, whatever cream. So he will make his own cream,
mm-hmm.
and then he will do his own research, like what type of cream that he likes.
Mm-hmm.
He'll Google search, find a cream, and then he'll check out the kitchen, what kind of materials we have. Here we have certain type of sugar. There was one he failed with making the cream
Mm-hmm.
because he used the wrong sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So the next time he knows that, okay, I need to use fine sugar, not the
Mm-hmm.
coarse sugar. Yeah. And he realized that, okay, I need to take note of certain things, what the steps needed, what kind of ingredients will create what kind of outcome. So they learn about the consequences as well.
Mm.
So that's where he created his own cream, he added his own flavor, and he also added banana in there and some chocolate. And then he whipped the cream out and then put in between the cake.
Mm.
And my girl loves fruits as well, so she added some fruits that decorate on top. That's how they created their own version of banana cake with some fruits on the top.
And what are the fruits on the top? I mean, I can see
That was
very
blackberry.
blackberries.
Yep.
And you can really see from her smile.
Yeah, she can't wait to eat. I was trying to take picture. Hey, let me have some memory for myself. I want to take pictures. Like, Mommy, quickly, I want to eat now. I want to eat now. I was like, can you stop taking pictures? Like, okay, last one.
Yeah, and your boy is like, please take more picture.
Correct. He's already used to my pattern.
Yeah, and I really like what you're doing here because also just some stories from my side. And my middle child doesn't really like math lah. I mean, because it's quite hard for her to learn the times table. Yeah, but the funny thing is, my wife loves to cook
Mm.
and she also bakes like you. Yeah, so there's one time that she got my middle child to be involved in playing, okay, in helping her like an assistant. Yeah, so she has to use the measuring cylinder and also do the weighing. Yeah, then after that, I think interestingly, she could see the relationship between cooking, which what she loves, as in for my kid, and the math. Yeah, so later on, she got more interested in learning math. Yeah, so I
Oh,
thought,
that's nice.
the activities here that we are sharing with the parents is not we are not doing it because we have lots of time. I mean, both of us are busy as well. But I think a lot of times we just want to get our kids to involve in what we are doing and bonding at the same time, as well as
Yep.
you never know, through all these activities, our kids will get more interested in learning and building up their confidence and focus as well.
Agree. Yes. And also when you're in the kitchen, you learn a lot of math and science. A lot of math and science where you get to learn and get them interested. That's how I got started with like trying to nurture them into the stage where they love learning rather than just sit there and do the worksheet, because kids are not that kind of spectrum where they just sit still and do their work. Yeah. So I involve a lot of activities so that they will love to explore. So when you have the love of exploring and you have that interest to find out more, you will want to learn.
Awesome. I understand that you teach your child how to learn at home. I mean, which are more related to the like math, science, and the mother tongue and the English. Yeah. So back to science. So how do you get your child to be more involved in learning science and also helping them to be interested to learn science?
Science is everywhere around us. So a lot of things that we can use science to real life to apply onto science.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, you're running very fast, and then you breathe very hard, and then you feel like your heart is pumping out. Sometimes he'll tell me like, "Mommy, my heart, I think it's going to come out. It's pumping really, really hard." It's like, okay, what do you learn about your science? What do you think? Why your heart is pumping so hard? Why do you need to breathe so hard? So that's back to the science where they will think about it and then they'll realize, oh, our body works this way.
Mm-hmm.
And then he feel like it's not like the kind of learning where it's paper and words, but he can apply onto real life.
Mm-hmm.
And then at times I will like purposely, intentionally will ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, why my hand is so painful, or
Mm-hmm.
why am I like my hand is cramped and all those things? What happened to me? Is like, Mommy, because you seated there too long, you look at the computer too long. So that's why your body is didn't get the movement, your joint need to exercise, and then he will relate it back to the science.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we do the learning from there. And also we bought a lot of like low cost materials to try it out at home.
Mm.
Yeah, like balloons and straws.
Let me share this. I just managed to pick out 5. Yes, tell us more about all this because I think
Yeah,
you can.
this one is like, yes, it's very low cost, and a lot of parents can do it at home with the kids. And then
Mm-hmm.
they were like, wow. Because when you put the water around the candle and you light up, you put a cup onto the candle, you realize that all the water are going into the cup. Because of it requires it takes up it's trying to suck in all the oxygen.
Mm.
So that's when the water will go in. So over here, you also explain like why it happens, how it happens, and how to do the experiment step by step. It's very, very easy. And the kids get to explore, but of course the parents have to be there because you're playing with fire.
Mm. And I can see that your kids were much younger than.
Yeah. So
Oh,
since
so
young, they have
cute.
been exploring all this. Then I'll be there to monitor and take note, make sure it's safe.
What about this one?
This is when they make a rubber boat, rubber band powered boat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we use recycled materials.
Mm-hmm.
So you go tapao, you got the chopstick, you got the mineral bottle,
Mm-hmm.
and they try to use the spoon as the paddle
Mm-hmm.
and use the rubber band to tie it up and hot glue gun, stick it, such that they can wind up the rubber band, right? And then let go in the bathtub
Mm-hmm.
and see whether the boat move.
Ooh.
So it's a very simple experiment and they get to like explore. Yeah, we used to call ourselves young smarties.
Okay, so this is the hot glue gun.
Correct. Yep. Even the hot glue gun initially they were very scared of using because they're scared of burning themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But after they do get themselves burned for a few times, but it was mild.
Mm-hmm.
So from there they also learn how to be careful, how to use certain tools.
Nice. And what's this?
This is where they make the so-called something like the rocket launcher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we borrow a lot of books from the library as well to explore different experiments.
Mm-hmm.
So whichever that triggers them to explore, we will go ahead and find the materials and do it ourselves. So it happens that he has the dart, they paste some paper around it, So this is the baking soda. And then we try to launch this little, so-called, we call it it's actually like a Nerf gun bullet. Yeah, to make it fly out. This is a very simple experiment as well, and materials are easily found at home. Vinegar and baking soda. Most homes already have. And then for the bullet, so-called, you may find other materials such as a small thin bottle. It also works.
Looks like you can't wait for it to launch.
Yeah, it didn't launch. It doesn't work. So he get to explore and think about it. How? Why? And then he tried the second time, and then it launched a little bit.
And then I can see the sister came to rescue him.
Correct.
Yeah, I think a few ways that a child can benefit from this is I can see that when the siblings work together, their relationship will improve as well. And a lot of times, from my experience of working with parents, some parents, I can sense that they do not want their kids to make mistakes, or they are not really comfortable with the mistakes made by the kids. Yeah, so by doing all this, I think it's also an opportunity for parents to make mistakes with their kids.
Correct.
And learn from the experience and move forward.
Correct. I was there. I was that kind of state in the past, where I try to avoid mistake as much as possible, because in case it hurt their self-esteem or whatever. I realized that it doesn't help them to learn. So that's where I purposely or waiting for mistakes to happen, so that I jump in and guide them along. Okay, you make this mistake, or okay, this is a struggle, or this is a challenge. So what should you do next to make it better? Yeah, so mistakes do happen. Nobody is perfect. And we need to learn from our mistake, how to improve and how to get better from there.
Great. I think your kids are very confident kids.
Hopefully it remains or get better, because when they go to school, they experience different types of friends. I also want them to learn how to manage that as well.
Great. Okay, there's one more last thing before we do a wrap up. Okay. I'm very interested in this. So how do I grow crystals at home? And probably I can even sell it. Okay, so how you grow crystals at home? Tell us how to start, or what is it about?
For this one, it's more of learning about crystallizations. Yes, and we use salt over here. I think there are some experiments that use sugar, because we wanted to use sugar. Then my kids were saying that, "Mommy, what if later got ants? If the ants come to us?"
Wow.
I was like, okay, there's at least they think about that. Then then we use salt. Yeah, because some people use sugar so that they make it like a candy bar.
Yep.
When you turn it crystal, a candy bar, they can eat it. They wanted the sugar, but they think about the ants, then they were scared. So they use the salt. So all you need is salt, the stick, bowl, and some water. All right, and then you just you dissolve the salt in the water.
When you talk about salt, what is Epsom salt?
It can be easily found in the supermarket. It's written there, Epsom salt.
Oh.
It's a different type of salt. Yeah.
So does it mean that I can't use those like salts used for cooking?
I think this one, because it's more coarse, and the other one is much more fine. I haven't really go and like explore the different kind of salt. Why?
Sure.
Different kind of salt to use. There are also different type of salt, like rock salt. Yeah. So we only explore with the Epsom salt so far. So they have to stir. They have to be patiently stirring the solution, and then until the salt melt. And then they have to put the stick with the string that goes into the water. So they have to put it under near the sun or under the sun, and then wait for it to like evaporate. Then they explore about that. Then wait for it to like crystallize and all those things. They learn the cycle through this experiment. So when it gets so-called hardened, you can start to see crystal on it.
Crystal on the thread.
On the thread and around the bowl. For their case, it's everywhere.
Oh wow! When you were explaining this one, I think it reminded me of the times when I took chemistry lesson in secondary school, I think. We learned about crystallization. Was it
Correct.
bio? It's so long ago. Okay, so let's watch the video. Probably I will just fast forward a bit. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I think you can fast forward to the.
I really like his expression. So animated. Okay, so there's this first part that demonstrated what they did.
Correct. They will mention about the book as well, and then they share what book they are reading. So what inspired them.
Oh, okay, wow. Okay.
And then they will have to explain. I took the chance to do the video because I wanted them to also build their confidence of speaking.
If I on the sound, can you hear?
Just now, yes.
Just now, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because I'm really feel very good in the sense of like when I see young kids presenting like that, it's really amazing. Like how much they can share and helps them to build confidence.
Correct. My main purpose is for them to build confidence and then also to give them the concept of like sharing with other people, learning together with other people. And also, even if they use the wrong word or speak wrongly, I'm fine with that because they're not perfect as well. So I allow mistakes to be made on this video. So I don't really go and ask them to NG a lot of parts or many times just to make that perfect video.
Yeah.
So you can see the mess around and all those things, and they may have used the wrong word to describe. So these are the crystals, so-called the crystals grow
around the
around
this
there.
container.
Around the container.
Wow, I didn't expect that.
So now the water is totally dried up. And the crystallization is like the process already completed.
Wow, I'm shocked as well. Interesting. Wow, I think I can try.
Yeah, and then the last part is where it's like sensory play, where they go and touch and then go and feel. So it's like turning back into salt.
So does it mean that they can like recycle this salt and repeat the whole process?
Can you can scrape out the salt and then try again. Yeah, if you're daring enough, you can also let them to try it out, taste it. Because it's outside, some parents are more particular. You leave it out there. You don't allow the child to taste it, but I let them try a little bit. So it's like, oh, mommy is very very salty. Yeah.
Great. Okay, and one last thing, I also saw this 5 days challenge. What can they do?
The last time I ran a 5 days challenge with parents who sign up. It's a free challenge where you sign up with me, and every day I'll send you 5 tasks, as in 1 task each, so you don't get overwhelmed. So 1 day, 1 task, follow the steps and do an experiment with your kid. And then there are worksheets in there where you can write out what did you find out, what did you learn from this experiment. Yep. So the experiment are usually the materials are easily found at home or easily purchased from like supermarket.
Great. Okay. I think at the same time just now you mentioned that you also offer science tuition as well, and I really like the way that you like you are parents who walk your talk, in a sense of you also get your kids to be genuinely interested in science,
Mm-hmm.
not just reading off from the textbook or doing more worksheets. Yeah, so I believe that your methodology will be different from other science tutors out there. And what if parents want to get in touch with you? How can they contact you?
They can go to my website and then they can reserve a slot from there. So
Mm-hmm.
I do have 2 weeks free trial
Mm-hmm.
for students to learn to try out with my lessons
Mm-hmm.
for two times,
Mm-hmm.
and then they depends on the kids whether they like it, whether they want to continue from there. So they get to try out before like really sign up. Don't know what's going on.
Mm. Okay, for parents who are watching this and if you are interested in this, just a disclaimer. Okay, and the reason why I need to say this is because there are some parents uh that think that I'm doing some sort of paid advertisements. Yeah. So parents, this is just to share with you more contents and also educators who are parents and teachers as well. So if you are keen, you can just connect with Lup Wai over here, and she'll take it from there. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So at the same time, I think we have come to the end of the sharing. What will be one key takeaway for parents who wants to practice what you're doing?
One key takeaway.
Yeah, like I think what you're doing is amazing in the sense of every, every day and almost every moment you don't just engage your kids, you come up with activities and you even take big pictures and you journal down and you took a video recording so that you can keep it as well, and for them to fall back on if they need to revisit. Yeah, but I think most parents may not have the time for this, but what would be a simple step that they can try if they wants to head towards this direction of conscious parenting?
It's more of, okay, at the beginning it may be a bit tough, especially for working parents, because after school, after work, come back is like you feel tired, want to rest.
Yeah.
uh what I what I would do is create that kind of habit. Try to like you challenge yourself to do it like for the first week.
Mm-hmm.
For example, for the first week, okay, every day I will pick up or I will discuss with my kid what is the thing that interests them most at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of time we pick up ourselves, but actually the kid doesn't like it. And then we think that we are bonding with the child
Mm-hmm.
because we are doing things together.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if I want to go karaoke, but you don't like it, and I pull you to karaoke.
Oh dear, if it's that.
So you feel like we are bonding, we're chatting, we're singing, but actually you don't like the activity. So
Uh,
actually to him or to you, you're not actually bonding with me.
mm,
Yeah, this is how it works. So it's more of like every day you come back, chit chat with your child, chit chat with
mm,
your child, find out what their interest is. Right? Most parents will say that now they like Roblox, they like playing Minecraft, or the using the devices.
mm-hmm.
So you can suggest like, is there anything that is not using device? What is the thing that you like to do?
Mm-hmm.
What is the thing that we can do together so that we can learn together?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you start noting down the activities and then set a time. You really have to discipline yourself to set the time to do it together with your child.
Mm-hmm.
And then slowly it becomes a habit. When it becomes a habit, it's easier for you to do it. The beginning is hard because sometimes we plan a lot. Wow, I want to do this, do this, do this, do this. Wow, that parent do this, do this, do this. I want to do this also. But when it comes to you, you want to do it, it's like, I feel so tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. But think about like how you can build that bond together with your child,
Mm-hmm.
learning together and grow their interest on learning. And then you have less struggle on your part also. Always nagging them to do homework, always nagging them to learn.
Mm.
So with that, it's easier for you to manage your child also.
That's why I got away from here is start off with a small step.
Correct.
Yeah.
Always the small step. Yep.
And parents, if you're not sure what you can do with your kids, the easiest way is to ask them.
Yes.
Yeah, and you'll be surprised by the things that they want. And a lot of times, from my experience, most kids will just say, they will turn to simple things, and they may even come back to you and say, "Mommy, what do you like?" Yeah,
Yes.
you'll be
They'll come
surprised.
back to you. Correct.
Mm,
In turn, they'll ask you instead.
yep.
There were times that my kids will ask me, "Mommy, what do you feel like eating?" Usually, I'm the one asking them, "What do you feel like eating?" So certain days they'll ask me, "Mommy, what do you feel like eating? Let's eat something that you like." I said, "Oh, okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
nice."
yeah. And I guess here is not much of like what should we eat in the end, but it is the communication flow between the parent and child, and also because of this, it resulted in stronger bond rather than just directly asking the person, "So what do you want?"
Yes, correct. Totally agree.
Okay, Lup Wai, thanks so much for sharing. It's been a great and fruitful 1 hour.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for having me as well.
Yeah, and I will always ask my guests this one last question. Okay, do you know when is this year's PSLE?
October, I have the date.
Oh, yeah, the dates. Okay,
Yeah, I have the
okay.
date.
Yeah, so I guess right now our P6ers, some of them will be feeling pretty anxious lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So right now, you are someone who knows a lot on how to support your child's emotion.
Mm-hmm.
So if I may invite you to walk down your memory lane, yeah,
Okay.
from the older self to the younger self. Yeah. So as you walk down to your younger self, you bump into the 12-year-old Lup Wai, and you got so close to her that you can almost touch her, yeah, and then she's looking at you in the eyes. What will you tell her? No wrong or right, it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Hmm. What
I
will you
will
tell
tell her, okay, try your best, be confident in what you do.
her? Mm-hmm.
I believe that you have these 6 years in school, you have gained a lot of knowledge and experience. And it's time to, you know, to express and put it out on those paper to show that how much you have learned. Because P6 is about, to some people, they say it's like putting out what you have learned onto papers, how much you have learned, how much you have know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And or where do you want to go next is how you're going doing it now.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of consequences you want is what you will have to do now. You
Mm-hmm.
want the common questions will be like, if you want to have to go to a better school,
Mm-hmm.
then try your best to do as best as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that do as perfect as possible, because we are not, and in a way that go into the exam hall with a mind of where you want to go next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I will say to my 12-year-old self.
Anything else? Yeah, this is what I learned from. I mean, when I say anything else, this is what I learned from an English teacher who I have interviewed. Yeah, so she was sharing with me that in an English oral, they will always ask the children. So anything else?
Yes, I always get it.
Anything else?
Anything else? Anything else is, yeah, I would say that you take the exam because for yourself. It's for yourself. It's not for anybody else. It's not to prove that if I got good numbers or good results, it
Mm-hmm.
means that I make my parents proud or whatsoever. Yes, it does indirectly,
Mm-hmm.
but it's more for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You take the exam, you do it well because it's for your own future. It's not for anyone else. You're competing yourself, you're competing, doing it well for yourself, for your future. And you have to remember that this is your own life, your own future. It's not to please anybody. Yeah, that's what I always tell my students as well. You do the exam. Is it you want to do it well because you want to show and prove someone else that you are good? Or is it you want to prove yourself that you are good? So that's the difference. So they will have to think about that. Is it for someone else or is it for myself?
Great. Okay, thanks for sharing so much during the past 1 hour plus.
Thank you. Thanks for having me as well.
Okay, don't go off first, yeah. So I will just stop the Facebook Live. And parents, thanks so much for being here. I know that some of you may be working from home, so taking out some of your precious time to watch this. And Jason Lee said hi half an hour ago.
Oops.
You can drop in a text later and say, I got your message. Half an hour later.
Yeah. Too busy talking.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thanks, parents. Bye-bye. Take care. Have a good lunch.
See you.
See you.